Yeah, it is. It is a little bit. But, you want, I want the long sleeve T-shirt, I think. I like the long sleeve tees. Good when you're wrestling pythons in the Everglades. Good to have a long sleeve tee. We got a lot of good stuff. President Trump on the move. The Democrat Party, the commie in New York.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 9. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. Breaking overnight, 3 people shot, a man, a woman, and a young boy. This happened at around 10:30 last night at 7th and M Streets Northwest near the Mount Vernon Square Metro Station and the D.C. Convention Center. The victims all unconscious but breathing and suffering from gunshot wounds. At the time, no word yet on their conditions or on any arrest or motive in the case. A Frederick City police officer is facing child pornography and solicitation of a minor charges in Pennsylvania. It stems from an incident that was first discovered last year.
Another officer within the department reported Corporal James Dodson.
No one hates a corrupt cop more than a good cop. This badge is a symbol of the trust the community places in us. When that trust is broken, so is the right to wear the badge.
Well, Dodson is currently suspended. The police chief says he will answer more questions during a public briefing Thursday.
7 News' Adriana Hopkins. Dodson was suspended as soon as the allegations against him were first made. A federal judge in Tennessee has ruled that Kilmar Abrego Garcia will stay in jail for now for safekeeping over concerns from his lawyers that he could be deported if he's released to await trial on human smuggling charges. The judge was preparing to release him, but Abrego Garcia's attorneys had asked to keep him in lockup over concerns the administration would instantly remove him from the country if he's released from prison. The Justice Department has said it intends to try Abrego Garcia before any moves are made to deport him. Loudoun County school superintendent will be sticking around until at least June of 2029.
The school board extended Aaron Spence's contract for an additional year and gave him a $32,500 raise following its latest performance review. As of today, Spence's salary is $425,000. He won't get that raise until next July. School board chair Melinda Mansfield says Spence's, quote, visionary and student-centered leadership is moving our division forward in bold and thoughtful ways. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The Democratic ticket for Virginia's statewide offices hit the ground running together, but it has taken longer for the GOP. That changes tonight in Vienna.
We're going to see the entire ticket together.
Prince William Supervisor Yesli Vega on 7 News. Tonight's rally will be the first with Winsome Earl Sears, John Reed, and Jason Miyares after a rocky start with Governor Youngkin asking John Reed to step aside after racy photos were published. But Vega insists voters are locked in on issues.
Folks are still feeling the pinch in their pocketbooks. Parents are still feeling like their voices are not being heard.
Issues, she says, that propelled Youngkin to victory in 2021. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Owning a car now more expensive in Maryland.
You'll pay more in fees starting today thanks to hikes passed by the Maryland legislature to help close a $3 billion deficit. The fee for a certificate of titles doubled to $200 for new and used vehicles. The cost for emissions inspections went up from $14 to $30. And if you don't get it done when it's due, the late fees doubled to $30. And you'll have to pay a new $10 fee to use a self-serve kiosk. The vehicle excise tax increased from 6 to 6.5%. Registering a vehicle will also cost more. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Checking your money. The Dow futures are down 45 points. NASDAQ futures down 100. Up next, traffic and weather on WMAL.
Hey, I'm Reba McEntire. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
You want to grow your business.
fucking kidding me?
270, watch for the delays right as you approach the lane divide. That heavy delay onto the spur takes you onto the Beltway, across the American Legion Bridge. Residual delays westbound 32 to the earlier crash at the Baltimore-Washington Parkway. Into Stafford, northbound 95 still slows to the crash before 630 Courthouse Road along the right side. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WNAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
We're on a storm alert for the afternoon and evening. We could see damaging wind gusts, hail, near 90 with feels like temperatures in the upper 90s. Have a way to get severe weather alerts later today. I'm 7 News.
And singer Bono, the singer Bono, fault Trump's gutting of USAID. Hey, are we the only country on the planet, or are we just the only one that's $36 trillion in debt? Have we crossed the $37 trillion debt marker yet? But we're supposed to pay for everything. You got AIDS, you're in Africa. Oh, the United States, they've got a family in Kansas that wants to work all year to pay your way through the world. Maybe that communist in New York, Mamdani, maybe he lived in South Africa for a while when he was a kid. Maybe he should be in charge of funding all that with New York City taxpayer dollars when he becomes the mayor, the king of New York, and lives in Gracie Mansion and spreading the word of communism and jihad, genocidal jihad. the Democrats, it's the fundamental transformation of America. Barack Obama never said the fundamental transformation meant the country was going to get better, just that it would be fundamentally transformed. And he, fairness to him, also admonished us that we should teach our children to learn Spanish, because they're going to see to it that this is not an English-speaking country for a long, long time. And soon they're going to be, dead bodies hanging upside down from bridges when you drive under them in big cities, because the Democrats they're fundamentally transforming America, aren't they? Yeah, but Bush, Obama, and Bono. I have kind of a funny Bono story. I met Bono one time at a conference in Washington, D.C., and I was being hosted by CNN, and they invited Bono. And then they invited then Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. And I was assigned to the Pentagon at that time, and Secretary of Defense was going to a CNN event. So I kind of went along with him to be his Sherpa. And we got there, and Bono latched on to Donald Rumsfeld and chased him, saw him across the room and chased after him, and was yelling about Africa and how we have to spend more of our money in Africa. And because Bono really cared, I think Bono's got more money than the Defense Department at this point. Maybe not that much, but he's got a lot. And chasing Rumsfeld, and I was riding an escalator. It was a hotel downtown D.C., riding an escalator up with Donald Rumsfeld, then Secretary of Defense, and his press spokesperson. And Bono jumped on the escalator with us and rode all the way up. And he looked like Bono, and he had blue glasses on and a stupid shirt and funny shoes. And he had he rode the escalator up with Rumsfeld. And I was with Rumsfeld, and we got to the top, and Bono just prattled the whole time about how the United States has to spend more money in Africa, and he knew where the money needed to go, and he was very, very important. And then Bono at the top of the escalator started to peel off to the left, naturally, and I'm peeling off to the right with Donald Rumsfeld. And Rumsfeld turned around and said, "Who was that?" And I laughed and said, "That's not important." And I still, they had these credentials hang around your neck with a lanyard, and they had the Bono credential there for Bono, but he's Bono, so he didn't wear it. And because everybody knows who he is, because he's Bono, and he doesn't have to wear any lanyard with his name on it. Don't be ridiculous. And I thought it was pretty funny that we're sitting on the table, and it was a CNN event. So I grabbed the lanyard with the credential on it that said Bono on it, and I wore it around at the conference for the rest of the day. I think I still have it at home somewhere. Not sure if I could come up with it in short order, but I think I still have it at home. But now, George W. Bush and Barack Hussein Obama, he did so much good in the world, didn't he? That it has to be undone. It's going to take years to undo all the damage the good that Barack Hussein Obama did. He did so much good, it's hard to even count all the good things that he did. But Bush, Obama, and Bono fault Trump's gutting of USAID. And that is, I couldn't help. I was scratching my head this morning. I was like, where's the European Union? Don't they have some kind of a union? Isn't that what that U stands for? Maybe they should take over for us. We've been doing all the heavy lifting since 1942. Maybe you guys, what isn't there an organization called the United Nations that we fund all over the place? And but still, we get the check every time the kids get up from the dinner table. We get the check again. And hey, Dad, pay the bill. And Dad's saying, hey, I'm $36 trillion in debt. Maybe you should get a job at a drive-through somewhere. Even Donald Trump worked at a drive-through for a little while. So we got that. And yeah, Bono, he really cares. And Barack Obama, he really cares too. He was president for 8 years for the maximum. And what did he do again? Did he make anything better? He used the military to bomb and attack 8 countries around the world. But never mind that. Just amazing stuff. Now, there is good news in Washington, D.C. Not only is President Trump flying down to Alligator Alcatraz in Florida today for a lot of fun and to whip out the Louisville Slugger to bash some brains out of big dinosaur-like reptiles called alligators that are allowed to roam free in Florida. If you had alligators in your neighborhood, would you be okay with the kids are out playing and there are dinosaurs running around the neighborhood with giant sharp teeth? They have brains the size of golf balls, but they're 14 feet long, and they could chomp your kid and drag him into a pond somewhere. But we let dinosaurs run free. I guess, I don't know, I blame Democrats. I assume that it's probably Democrats' fault. So we got that. But in the meantime here, President Trump going down there to do some alligator Alcatraz stuff. Democrats very upset that we have any facilities where illegal alien gangsters might be incarcerated, because the Democrats want them chasing your daughter down a highway. That's what the Democrats, while drunk, naturally, and smuggling gang members from the southern border. That's what Democrats want. But President Trump, not only is he going down to Florida to bash some alligator brains in, but Mary Margaret Olahan on the Twitter, wonderful Mary Margaret Olahan on the Twitter, says some patriotic news. The B-2 pilots, that's the B-2 Spirit, the stealth bombers that flew out of Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri to drop bombs on the nuclear facilities of the Islamic Revolution in Iran. And the B-2 pilots who flew into Iran and bombed the Iranian nuclear programs will come to the White House. Really? I predicted this a week ago, and I think I was the first person to hear anybody say it. I say, Trump is going to have, and then it becomes a little tricky because you have the refueling bombers, the fighter jet pilots, you just have the B-2 pilots, but it looks not right now like the B-2 pilots who flew the Iranian mission will be welcomed to the White House when? Friday, July 4th. That's the 4th of July. That's our national holiday. It's our birthday. The Democrats, they don't like it. And not just Trump having the bomber pilots over. They'd put all Americans in jail if you really gave them total power, which is what they want. That's all they want is total power. But we have these remarkable things. And there's a poll out now that shows that Democrats have never been less proud to be Americans. And it's been a while since they were proud at all to be Americans. But now, according to the new poll, they're less proud than ever to be Americans because how does the old phrase go again, Michael? Oh, they're not on our side. See, that's it. And everybody should know that in America. The slogan of the Democrat Party should be, we're not on your side, because they're not on our side. And the Republicans should brand the Democrat Party as being a terrorist organization, just for one, with all the fire bombings and the killings and the gangs and all that. But never mind that. And the Republicans should brand them. And the Democrats love branding. They got a new branding thing in the Washington Post today that was pretty funny. My best girl was laughing out loud all morning, whipped out the yellow highlighter magic marker thing and highlighted some passages from the Washington Post story. And it's unintentionally funny, which happens a lot in the Washington Post. But the headline from the Gallup polling people, American pride slips to new low. And you won't be surprised to learn that it's all because of Democrats, because they're firebombing lunatics and they're not on the side of civilization. Sharp decline in American pride among Democrats and Gen Z. Gen Z, the Gallup poll finds, shockingly small portion of Democrats are proud to be American, poll shows. Another headline from my friend Bo Snerdley there, and just wonderful stuff. The Democrat Party, they're not on our side. I don't know how many times I have to demonstrate this, or maybe I should say they have to demonstrate this. And then there's Elon Musk. Elon Musk stirring up trouble once again. He's talking about creating a new political party to stop Trump's insane spending bill. He's new to politics, Elon Musk. He's very smart in many regards, but I'm not sure he can spell the word politics, because he really doesn't get what's going on in this town, and that's understandable on some level. But as maybe the smartest man on the planet today, somebody should sit down with him and explain to him how things work on Capitol Hill, as awful as it is. But you create a new political party, and conservatives will never get a bill passed again for the foreseeable future, at least. But Elon Musk, on his own Twitter platform, which he likes to call S, if this insane spending bill passes, that the Senate's kicking around today with their Vote-a-Rama or whatever cheesy name it's been given. Now, our country needs an alternative to the Democrat-Republican uniparty so that the people can actually have a voice. And if you think having a third major party in the United States would accomplish that, I think it would accomplish the opposite of that. I'd be happy to sit down with Elon Musk. I was working with a nice woman last night, a woman in her 20s, who said she had occasion, she's a journalist, to sit down with Elon Musk around a table for more than an hour and talk and just spitball and stuff. Said he was really great, really hilarious, charming, funny, told jokes the whole time. And then I said, but did he know anything about politics? And that's another thing. Speaking of knowing anything about politics, John Fetterman, of the Addams family and the Democrat Party, complains about missing family beach trip in order to vote on Trump bill. That's a left-wing headline there. Oh, my God, I just want to go home, is the quote from John Fetterman. Isn't that great? He just wants to go home. Yeah, a lot of people just want to go home. But you somehow, amazingly, were elected to the United States Senate. And the Senate's busy now. I guess I'd kind of like to be walking on the beach somewhere, too, right now. But I've got a job to do. And, this is what I do. I'm telling you. Also, we'll update you as the news develops out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where 2 firefighters were ambushed and assassinated. A third firefighter ambushed and shot and wounded by a lunatic. We still need to know more about him. We have that. We have the border czar speaking up because the Democrats are trying to arrange for ambushes of ICE agents, like these firefighters were ambushed in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, of all places. And Caroline Levitt, very busy yesterday. Got a lot going on there. The Israeli prime minister, who the would-be communist mayor of New York says he will arrest if he comes to New York, is coming to Washington, D.C. next week to meet with President Trump, see if the Democrat mayor here wants to arrest him. And that mass murderer, also out of Idaho, that murdered the 4 college students, cuts a plea deal, not making everybody happy because looks like the death penalty is off the table, and that's too bad. We're at 888-630-9625.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Late delays on the Beltway Tyson's crash reported on the inner loop just after Route 7 before you get to 123. Still have the volume inner loop as you come off in 95 to get you past Braddock Road into Stafford. We're jammed northbound 95. The crash before 630 Courthouse Road still blocks the right half of the roadway. Southbound on the 270 spur jammed to join the outer loop heading toward the American Legion Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Sunshine now, but a storm alert later with scattered strong to severe thunderstorms and a high of 90. More storms overnight, low 71.
Making sense of your world.
Common sense. Let's get back to common sense.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon.
Now that should give you a lot of cause for hope.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
U.S. soccer fans, get closer to the players, voices, and stories of the beautiful game with the U.S. Soccer Podcast. Megan Klingenberg, Alejandro Bedoya, and host David Gass bring you behind-the-scenes access to U.S. Soccer's 27 national teams, including exclusive interviews, stories, and spotlights. The U.S. Soccer Podcast is out now. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
At Average House Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Support American-made tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. They aren't affected by tariffs because their clothing products never left the U.S. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get it Wi-Fi.
Yes,
Immediately.
we need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Making sense of the border.
Homeland security is right there at the tippy top of American concerns.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon.
You've got to be tough.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Let's move. We have soccer practice, dance, and a play date.
Life moves fast, so every second counts, especially when it comes to big decisions like buying a car. That's why searching through Navy Federal's car buying service powered by TrueCar is a perfect place to start.
Thanks, Mom.
Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle so you can go wherever life takes you. Visit NavyFederal.org/TrueCar to learn more. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval.
Making sense of your money.
The state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon.
The kind of thing I pay attention to, I'm looking at.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
You ever seen the movie 101 Dalmatians? Not the remake with Glenn Close, but the original animated one from the 1960s. There is this great scene when the Dalmatian Pongo is sitting in front of the window watching people walk by with their dogs. And the dogs look a lot like their owners. Well, it turns out those Disney animators were onto something. Research shows that when we pick our pets, or anything for that matter, familiarity plays a big role. In this case, when you choose a pet, you're seeing something you recognize. Might be a physical feature, an expression, a temperament, reflected back at you. Can't always pinpoint it. You might not even recognize it, but it feels good. It is known as the mere exposure effect, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It is how we pick our friends, our partners, and as it turns out, many times our dogs as well. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
All right. We can go to a telephone call now, Mike. Let's talk to the nice people, the American people, on this 4th of July week when the Democrats are less patriotic than ever, and there's no way to tell the difference. All right, let's go to Chris, calling from Marshall, Virginia. Christopher, you are on the Chris Plant Show.
As always, sir, it's an honor. Thank you for taking my call. Listen, I think there's quite a bit of a misconception about this alligator Alcatraz. They're talking about, you know, how big the security is and the fence and all that and the razor wire. There's an airstrip. There are a couple of tents, and there's a very small knee-high wall around the thing. It's not to keep the inmates in. It's to keep the local wildlife out. You want to escape? Giddy up, big boy. Good luck. The other thing I wanted to mention about this, you know, the environmentalist wackos were taking this opportunity to object about what damage they're doing to the Everglades. Meanwhile, they greenlight all that bureaucracy and ridiculousness about replacing the Key Bridge in Baltimore, and they greenlight all these wind farms offshore, which are horrible to the environment. And we saw what equated to the toenail of a dragon fall off of one of those trucks at Interstate 81 and Interstate 70 just yesterday morning. And the scale of these things is monstrosity.
Yeah, a giant blade from one of the Democrats' windmills on a highway. Yeah, and it's like the size of an airplane wing, and made by, I assume, by Chinese slave labor. The Democrats still love slavery, don't they? Yeah, I've got more on that coming up.
This is the Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Beltway and Tyson's. Things have escalated here with this crash on the inner loop between Route 7 and 123. That left lane no longer getting by. They've temporarily stopped all traffic. Deal with the seriousness of this crash. Again, inner loop as you pass Route 7. The express lanes are open. Outer loop volume across the American Legion Bridge, and 95 North still jammed into Stafford with the crash before 630 Courthouse Road along the right. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Sunshine now, but a storm alert later with scattered strong to severe thunderstorms and a high of 90. More storms overnight, low 71.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companions for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. She needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
Let's move. We have soccer practice, dance, and a play date.
Life moves fast, so every second counts, especially when it comes to big decisions like buying a car. That's why searching through Navy Federal's car buying service powered by TrueCar is a perfect place to start.
Thanks, Mom.
Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle so you can go wherever life takes you. Visit NavyFederal.org/TrueCar to learn more. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm LaToya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
At Average Al's Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. The world of fast fashion has complicated clothing production by outsourcing around the world to whoever can sew them the cheapest. And now you, the consumer, are paying the price with rising costs. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. So when you buy from American Giant, you're taking a stand for hardworking people, local communities, and quality clothes. American Giant directly supports American manufacturers and ensures you aren't footing that tariff bill. Support American-made tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.
Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of mainstream media, because the double standard is real. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
It's that Bono. You're doing a little Bono connection there. Yeah, where's my Bono credential? That made me laugh for a day. And Donald Rumsfeld, who was that person? That strange man. Good question. Now, President Trump left the White House.
I'm betting one time she cut the dog's nails and made him bleed. That's why the dog
But I
doesn't
assume
walk
that he
his
borrowed
paws
the Marine One helicopter and flew to Andrews, Joint Base Andrews Air Force Base to board Air Force One to fly down to Florida to Alligator Alcatraz, and he's gonna get out and club some alligator reptiles to death, maybe a giant python of some kind, because they're all loose there. And CNN, they had an expert on. He's a human rights expert. Is he a member of the Kennedy family, or maybe just an illegitimate child from Latin America somewhere of the Kennedy family? Because there's a lot of that. It's the Kennedy family, and they drink a lot and things happen. But that's not important. Now, President Trump leaving the White House a short time ago, and he was asked, I think it was Peter Doocy at the Fox News channel, who asked him, hey, you headed down to Alligator Alcatraz, and what's up with that?
And with the alligator Alcatraz, it's the idea that if some illegal immigrant escapes, they just get eaten by an alligator or a snake or something.
That seems to be a perfectly good. Is that the idea? Because our first caller, Chris, who is familiar with Alligator Alcatraz, the area there. And I love I played a marginally humorous soundbite yesterday of some Native American woman who's saying, "Oh, my people, this airstrip is sacred to my people because we all have Gulfstream jets, and we need our airstrip here in the middle of the Everglades."
It is kind of like our duty to come out here and represent them. And the alligators are a sacred animal to the tribe out here. And that is why we come and we stand for them, so that way their natural environment stays wild for them.
Their natural environment is an airport. Right? There's a runway, a long concrete runway. I'm not sure, is Air Force One going to land right there? Because that's a 747. That requires a lot of runway. It's a big runway, and there's a taxiway, and there's a road going to it. And suddenly, after I assume the tribe has a Gulfstream jet somewhere made in Georgia, and a wonderful airplane. But now suddenly there's an airport here in the middle of the Everglades. But now, because we're going to put some illegal aliens there while they are deported, it already has an airstrip, so airplanes can come in to load up the illegal alien criminal gang members that the Democrats want their daughters to marry, and they can be deported directly out of there. They're building big tent facilities. They're not like, canvas tents. They're big, kind of aluminum frame and all screwed together, and they're huge, like the size you could play professional hockey inside one of these tents. And they're sturdy, and wait till you hear the human rights activists. But so what's up with the alligator thing? So they try to escape, and they're going to be eaten by dinosaurs? This is President Trump being asked by Peter Doocy.
This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators, we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%.
Go up about 1%. See, because everybody knows, and I'm trying to remember what the what the movie was. I think it was Alan Arkin and the In-Laws or something like that, and many years ago, where they're fleeing from alligators, and they teach where you can't say. And here's the thing: I learned this about alligators, spending time in Florida, actually, that if an alligator is chasing you, alligator can run fast in a straight line, but they have short little dinosaur legs and claws and things and giant jaws with pointed teeth. But they can run. If you run straight away from them, they're probably going to catch you because they can run quite fast when they run in a straight line. So if you're being chased, and tuck this away, it might come in handy someday, and you'll thank me later on. You could be on a golf course in Florida or someplace, and a giant dinosaur can chase after you because environmentalists, oh, we love the environment. I'm sorry your children were dragged into a pond by a dinosaur. Very sad about that. But the, was it the In-Laws? Is it where you have it right there? Do you?
Serpentine! What? Serpentine!
They're being chased by alligators, and they've got a serpentine, because it's Peter Falk and Alan Arkin in a movie, and they're being chased by alligators. And he explains serpent, but they're thinking, well, these are serpents, right? But when an alligator is chasing you, could happen. Don't run in a straight line away from it because it can probably catch you and grab you by the ankles, and you don't want that because they got plans. Tiny brains, but they have plans. And if an alligator is coming after you, you cut right and then do a circle around the alligator. And because they're little legs, they can't turn while they're running. So they have to stop and kind of plod their way into a 45-degree turn, and then they look around. And by that time, you're back at the car and everything's fine. But don't run in a straight line to get away from an alligator. That's what Trump's talking about. And I think he's talking about the movie The In-Laws with Alan Arkin and Peter Falk from a great many years ago. So be serpentine and run away. And you can run circles around an alligator, but don't run a straight. And Trump decided to bring that up, which was pretty funny, I've got to say. And that's all he had to say, right? And he left. He got on the helicopter and he flew to Andrews. He got on Air Force One to fly to Alligator Alcatraz, and he just gave a tip on running from alligators should you find yourself in that situation. I'm telling you. All right, now there's more because they've got a governor in Florida, Ron DeSantis, and he knows because he's from there. So he knows all about these things, doesn't he? And he's had to run from alligators before. I've had to not run from my best girl, and she got me into golf many years ago. I haven't played golf in a long time now, but we want to go back. We keep talking about it. And we were in Florida, and there was a 14-foot dinosaur on the golf course, and I hit my golf ball off the tee. I was, 360 yards. I just made that up. It wasn't that far. And it landed about 4 feet from this 14-foot alligator. It literally was 12 or 14 feet, the alligator. It was gigantic. And I drove the cart up to it, and it was very close. And I took my wedge, which is your best weapon, right? It's if you're going to choose a golf club to defend yourself against an alligator, I think sand wedge, no more than a 9-iron, I think is going to be good for cranging them in the skull with the sharp edge end of it. It's the best weapon in your golf bag. It's not a wood. That's not a driver. Is not the best weapon. A wedge is definitely the best weapon. But in any case, I got out of the golf cart with my wedge and walked over to within just a few feet, and it was kind of alongside instead of right off his nose. And I was ready to use this sandwich. And then I chipped my golf ball out of there, and he didn't come after me. He knows he's on a golf course. He's a resort alligator. And I chipped away, and we got back to the clubhouse. And so what's with that 14-foot dinosaur you have there? And they said, old suitcase is out today. Old suitcase. They call him old suitcase. They told me old suitcase is out today. But I knew enough to, be serpentine if you got to run from the giant alligator, because it's good policy. So President Trump refreshed our memory on that. Now let's get back to soundbite number 11. This is the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. He's a Republican, and he's not on the side of the alligators when it comes to versus people. Democrats are on the side of the alligators versus people. They don't like people at all. And their leader in the Senate is a scaly reptile lizard king. Everybody knows that. So here's Governor Ron DeSantis talking to the press about President Trump coming down to visit the alligator Alcatraz.
When the president comes tomorrow, he's going to be able to see, you're going to be able to do. What'll happen is you bring people in there. They ain't going anywhere once they're there unless you want them to go somewhere, because good luck getting the civilization. So the security is amazing. But what
everybody's laughing,
natural and otherwise.
Comedy. We're going to do a stand-up comedy about alligator Alcatraz, and Trump's doing jokes and Ron DeSantis doing jokes. Democrats are considering self-immolating, and they need to talk to a doctor, don't they? These guys. Ron DeSantis, he's looking forward to the visit today.
I did speak with the president this weekend. He's very excited about doing it. But I think what he wants to see is, Florida should not be the only one in this fight, right? I mean, we literally are doing what the voters who elected all of us have been demanding for many, many years. And immigration was maybe the number one issue, maybe inflation, but certainly no worse than the second most important issue in the 2024 presidential election.
And Florida is doing what the American voters, the American taxpayers want. The Democrats are just hating America. Even in the Gallup poll, they're just not proud to be Americans. They are proud to be transgender, reptile-loving, anti-American, pro-radical Islamic jihadi, Communist Party voting, New York-based Democrats who are on the side of gangs from Venezuela and not schoolgirls from Minnesota, because the Democrats. This came up yesterday, and Ron DeSantis is right, doing what the American people want, and gain control of our country, of our border. Sovereignty matters. That'd be a good T-shirt too. Sovereignty matters. That's fine. So here's the wonderful Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary. Caroline Leavitt asked about the facility, and tell us all about it, Carolyn.
The facility is in the heart of the Everglades and will be informally known as Alligator Alcatraz. There is only one road leading in, and the only way out is a one-way flight. It is isolated and surrounded by dangerous wildlife and unforgiving terrain. The facility will have up to 5,000 beds to house, process, and deport criminal illegal aliens.
Gosh, 5,000, and that's pretty good. Informally known as Alligator Alcatraz. Alcatraz, of course, being an island prison in San Francisco, which I think the Democrats now use for monkeypox parties, don't they? They have some kind of monkeypox strum that goes on out there. I mean, 5,000, up to 5,000 beds. And the Democrats, they're very angry. They're very irate about this. They're not irate about illegal alien gang members marauding through the country, killing and raping and plundering. They're okay with that. But never mind that. And I like informally known as Alligator Alcatraz. We can make it more formal later, perhaps. It's a little bit of a Devil's Island thing. Like the French prison and the Papillon and all that stuff, trying to escape. And it's not an island, but it's in the Everglades, which is pretty rough territory. And then they sell it this way with the gigantic, swamp around you with alligators and pythons. And, hey, they're 30-foot long. They'll eat you whole. And it's good public relations, if nothing else. Great stuff. So the people on MS-13 DNC, that's an NBC News product. They've got a reporter there named Ryan Chandler. He thought he was going to be a mystery novelist, Ryan Chandler, but he turned out to be an MS-13 fake reporter. And he was there at the protest with the Native Americans in Florida. You can't call yourself Native American. And they're protesting along the side of the road, but not in the middle of the road, because in Florida it's legal to run protesters over if they're in the middle of the road blocking you.
There's a long list of concerns here, from legal worries to environmental concerns. Just look at some of these signs. Stop DeSantis, not in my home, get out of my swamp. Tells you everything you need to know.
Get out of my slum? Oh, get out of my swamp. Get out of my swamp. Swamp. Sure. Yeah, then they got signs. Yeah, I was looking at some of the signs there, the classic, ridiculous left-wing Democrat signs all over the place. Ryan Chandler, MS-13 DNC.
At the center of this argument is the native people here, who really reject this premise that this is some barren wasteland filled with alligators and pythons. The native people, part of the tribes that live here, have said that this is our sacred ancestral homeland with a delicate ecological balance that could be disrupted with all of these trucks coming in trying to truck thousands of people into this area.
I think it's racist to suggest that illegal aliens will be disruptive to the natural order of things. Isn't that true? Just amazing stuff. And, but the alligators, they're sacred. Too.
He's not here, so he can't hear you.
Yeah, and I love that there's signs. No clowns, no cults, no concentration camps. Might as well go protest at the county jail, you bunch of maroons. There are penitentiaries in Florida, too. You should go protest there. They're against prison. Just like... Mamdani, the communist in New York. I moved around some letters in Mamdani's name. You'll never guess what I found. I've got a new name for him now. The communist, jihadi, genocidal, Jew-hating, modern Nazi, Democrat, mayoral candidate for New York City. They still haven't finished counting the votes there and declared him to be the official winner yet? Because they are a third world country. Not New York. Democrats.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Heads up on the Virginia Beltway. All traffic is stopped. Serious crash on the interlooping Tysons at Route 7. Traffic comes to a halt as you come through Annandale before Route 50. So be really cautious for that stop traffic. Express lanes are open if you have the option to get into those express lanes before you get stuck in this mess. 66 East, so the scan still coming in from Nutley Street. 95 North still jammed for the crash before 630 Courthouse Road. All lanes open. Connecticut Avenue southbound south of Veersmore Road crash investigation.
I was wanting to go to Amsterdam actually in the next few weeks, but I don't know. I'll see if I've got the energy. We'll see what happens. I've got some landlord problems and housing shit problems here. But if everything's okay in a few weeks, I'm going to go down to Windows House with me. I've lived in Amsterdam, whatever it's like, for my second home. I know that place like the back of my hand. It is an hour and a half drive. I can rent cars there. I've got my fucking license, obviously. I'll drive down, I'll stay. I know where to stay there and all that. I really want to go up there. I've got things to do up there as well. Stay in the loop, so to speak. And also, I want to fucking go down my motherfucker's ass. Show the video with that motherfucker.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's Disease Research Program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
At Average Al's Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is on now. Get a king bed for a clean price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store website for details.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company, weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
Then here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Lowe's knows laundry day should be easy. Achieve maximum versatility with a dryer door that swings open either way, making Lowe's transfer from washer to dryer a breeze. Plus, with LG ThinQ, save time by controlling your washer remotely. Shop LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances today at Lowe's. Based on independent reliability surveys 2021 to 2024, select major appliances as compared to competing manufacturers offering full appliance lines. See associates for more details. Selection goes by location. Water supplies last. Exclusions apply. Valid 6/18 to 7/9.
Green light. Hey girl, school's on. I'm getting hungry. Or changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Thumbtack presents Uncertainty Strikes. I was surrounded. The aisle and the options were closing in. There were paint rollers, satin and matte finish, angle brushes, and natural bristles. There were too many choices. What if I never got my living room painted? What if I couldn't figure out what type of paint to use? What if I just use Thumbtack? I can hire a top-rated pro that knows everything about interior paint, easily compare prices, and read reviews. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
Making sense of your world.
Common sense. Let's get back to common sense.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon.
Now that should give you a lot of cause for hope.
News Talk 105.9. WMAL, making sense of the news.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
WMAL, making sense of the border, because laws either matter or they don't. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
You may or may not remember that in 2011, 14 years ago, then President Barack Hussein Obama was railing on about those darn Republicans that want to control our southern border. And what did Barack Obama suggest Republicans might do one day?
You know, they said we needed to triple the border patrol. Or now they're going to say we need to quadruple the border patrol. Or they'll want a higher fence. Maybe they'll need a moat. Maybe they want alligators in the moat. They'll never be satisfied.
It's not us who will never be satisfied. Once again, quite the opposite. But there's Obama in 2011, alligators in the moat. He's the man who saw the future. He's like Nostra sometimes. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Charlie calling from DeLand, Florida. Charlie, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Mr. Plant, just like Rush Limbaugh said, I hope he fails. I'm right on the St. Johns River, and I'm in DeLand, Florida, and there are alligators around here like they're birds. We have alligators that are 15 to 16 foot long, and down in South Florida, they also have monitor lizards, and they're about the size of a mid-sized dog, and they eat cats. They run about 40 miles an hour, and I was down there working in the Miami area, Boca Raton, and the lizards down there, when you look at them, they were prehistoric. When you were talking about the prehistoric animals, I instantly thought about the monitor lizards, and they are monstrous and evil looking. They have almost, it's like Jurassic Park. They have foamy mouths. When they open their mouth up there, it's kind of terrifying. But,
yeah, they're
that,
the Nile. They're out of Africa. These monitor lizards in Florida, the Nile monitor lizards. And it's true. Every story you pull up on them, Charlie says they'll eat your cats. They'll eat don't let your cat wander around the neighborhood. The African Nile monitor lizards will eat your cats. They're eating the cats.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. Happening right now. Big traffic problems in Fairfax County. Here's Jamie Whitten.
Serious crash shuts down the Virginia Beltway inner loop in Tysons. I'll have more coming up in traffic.
The Senate continuing deliberations on President Trump's so-called big, beautiful budget bill.
GOP leader John Thune does not have the sufficient number of votes that he needs to get the big, beautiful bill across the finish line in the Senate. There is quite an intense effort right now to flip Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. There was a lot of huddling and negotiating going on in the last hour. If they can get her, then they can pass this with Vice President J.D. Vance as the tie-breaking vote. Now, I'm told that he arrived around 6:30 this morning when it became clear that Republicans needed a lot of help. And a senator told me, who was on the floor, that they are waiting right now on language for the bill.
Fox News' Asha Hasney. A Frederick City police officer is facing child porn and solicitation of a minor charges.
Corporal James Dodson was arrested in Pennsylvania and charged with soliciting a minor and having child pornography. Another officer within the department reported Dodson, who is now suspended from his job. We expect to learn more about this investigation at a news conference Thursday.
7 News' Adriana Hopkins. Police Chief Jason Lando upset.
The conduct alleged against Mr. Dodson is despicable, inexcusable, and fundamentally contradicts the oath of every police officer in our department.
Dodson due in court in August. Progress has been slow on efforts by the Commanders to wrap up a deal with DC to build a new stadium at RFK, so team officials tried whining and dining last night. They took members of the city council out to Cafe Milano in Georgetown. Council Chair Phil Mendelson telling 7 News a few council members had specific questions.
There was a little bit of reference to timing, but again, in the sense of let's move as quickly as we can.
The team wants a deal done this month, but Mendelson says the council has 3 separate studies underway on how the stadium would impact the city. Those won't be done until perhaps the fall. Among the many new Maryland laws that take effect this July 1st, the Renters' Bill of Rights, an addendum now required to be attached to every lease to let tenants know where they stand.
The Bill of Rights spells out what can and can't be in a lease and what a tenant can do if the landlord doesn't live up to their end of the bargain. It's part of the new law, which also caps security deposits at 1 month and gives tenants right of first refusal if a landlord decides to sell.
7 News' Brad Bell, 40% of Maryland residents. Millions of us traveling this holiday week. Sure enough, hundreds of flights already delayed today.
More than 600 flights currently delayed, 250 already canceled so far today. This all comes as AAA is expecting a record-breaking number of Americans to travel over the 4th of July holiday weekend. Between June 28th and July 6th, more than 72 million people across the U.S. are projected to travel at least 50 miles or more from their homes. That's nearly 2 million more than last year.
Fox News' Todd Pyro checking your money. The Dow is up 97 points. NASDAQ down 65. Up next, traffic and weather on WMAL.
Around-the-clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 7/9 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Maximum initial battery voltage measured without a workload is 20 volts. Nominal voltage is 18.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
WMAL traffic and weather. Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
No change on the Beltway crash in Tyson, but progress is being made. Interloop at Route 7. All traffic is still stopped. Tow truck has arrived to try to rearrange some of the vehicles involved in the accident. Interloop at Route 7. Be really careful on the Beltway interloop as traffic just comes to a halt as you pass the Little River Turnpike. 66 East at a crawl back near Nutley Street. The express lanes are open, so if you have the chance to get into those express lanes, by all means. Again, interloop stopped at Route 7. Northbound 95 crash cleanup continues before 630 Courthouse Road. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tracking a very strong cold front this afternoon with severe thunderstorms. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s to lower 90s. Showers and storms will ease this evening. Tomorrow we'll see clearing during the afternoon with highs in the 80s. I'm 7 News meteorologist Steve Rudin in the First Alert Weather Center.
86 at Reagan National. John Matthews News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plank.
You can just kill ICE agents. You know that? You can just kill them. You don't have to hold your phone in their face and ask people when their birthday is and ask people what their name is and then try to find wherever they end up in Los Angeles. You can kill them. This isn't about social media clout anymore. This isn't about video. This isn't about the phone. This is about get a gun and start killing ICE agents.
Yes. That is a transgender Democrat, which is perfectly normal and mainstream in the Democrat Party, calling on like-minded Democrats to get a gun and shoot and kill ICE agents because they love gang members from Venezuela. And he's pretending to be a she. Is that what's going on with that one? You think it might be a she pretending to be a he? Kind of like the mass murderer at the Christian school in Tennessee. Democrats are they're unwell. They're not what they used to be at all, are they? No, they are not even close. A very, very happy Tuesday, too. Sorry to open with that madness, but there it is, a transgender posting video of himself or herself prattling on very publicly. I assume an FBI pre-dawn raid is in order with battering rams and face masks. You know how they hate the face masks thing. But the Democrat Party they've declared war on American sovereignty.
I hear you.
Which is to declare war on the United States of America. If federal law enforcement authorized by the Congress seek to enforce laws, then the Democrat Party is out there to oppose the enforcement of our laws, the control of our southern border or our northern border or our ocean borders for that matter, because they're not on our side at all. But the transgender person, we'll just go with person allegedly, saying, hey, this is not about this. It's not about that. This is about getting a gun and killing ICE agents because, you don't want to enforce the law or have a border, have national sovereignty or an identifiable country, because it's all part of Barack Obama's fundamental transformation of America. They are not the good guys.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
That's right. And what he meant was every Democrat becomes sexually dysfunctional, pursuing children, pretending that they're the opposite of whatever sex they actually are, the Democrat Party. So I wanted to open with that because it turns out they're back. And not just the transgender Democrat calling for guns to be used to hunt and kill ICE agents. You know, we've got, in fact, I haven't been able to confirm this yet. So I want to say that this has not been officially announced out of Idaho, but the creepy young man that started a forest fire and then ambushed firefighters, murdering 2 and wounding 1 with a rifle in a sniper attack. He actually apparently had a conversation with the firefighters when they arrived, then took up position and started shooting at the firefighters there that were there to put out the forest fire that he started. And there are reports not yet confirmed that is a transgender person there in Idaho. And there's some photographic evidence to support that suggestion, but it has not been confirmed officially through official channels just yet. So I want to share that with you because, and then the Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee, that was a trans, woman trying to be a man, right? Claimed to be a man. So we got that. Now, back to the Democrats and their transgender thing. Pretty disturbing. But the ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement's director, an acting director, because the Senate isn't as functional as it could be with all those Democrats, Todd Lyons put out a statement on ICE spotting because some left-wing anti-American types created an app. It's an app. And the app, if you download the app, and you're an illegal alien, gang member, the human child sex trafficker, drug trafficker, Democrat, friend of the Democrat Party, you download the app, and the app is supposed to warn you that there are ICE agents operating in your area so that you can flee and evade the law. And the Democrats are very active in this, right? So the app is out there, and if that's not bad enough, then CNN yesterday decided it was a good app that they should smile about and promote and talk about it and say, here's how you use the app to evade the enforcement of American immigration law, right? And it came up at the White House briefing yesterday. The director of ICE, acting director, had to put out a statement yesterday. And border czar Tom Homan was asked about it as well. So I want to share with you this ICE block. Their CNN made a clever little story about it, and they're calling it ICE block. That's kind of like another kind of block that I can't talk about here. But they got the ICE block. And the headline at CNN, their online version, is in quotation marks, "I wanted to do something to fight back," end quote. "This iPhone app alerts users to nearby ICE sightings." Yeah, you wouldn't, and it's like, this is like if you got crack dealers and armed robbers in your neighborhood, that you should ask them to download the app, the drug dealers and the crack dealers and the armed robbers, so that you can warn them when there are metropolitan police in the area, like in Washington, D.C., the Metropolitan Police. Joshua Aaron has worked in and around the tech industry for around 2 decades. He built his first app, a blackjack game, at computer camp when he was 13. His newest app is designed for a very different purpose, to let users alert people nearby to sightings of immigration and customs enforcement agents in their area. The things that you could do with this. Aaron launched the platform called ICE Block in early April after watching President Donald Trump's administration begin its immigration crackdown. And he wants more illegality because he's a Democrat. He might be transgender, but I'm not sure. The White House immigration policies have sparked mass protests across the United States. A CNN poll in April showed 52% of Americans polled said Trump had gone too far. The poll was just done in the newsroom, though, at CNN. In deporting undocumented migrants. You mean illegal aliens and gang members and criminals and rapists and child sex traffickers and murderers. IceBlock currently has more than 20,000 users, many of whom are in Los Angeles. Is that still on fire? Is there water coming out of the fire hydrants yet? Where controversial large-scale deportation efforts have taken place. So he said, when I saw what was happening in this country, I wanted to do something to fight back, Aaron told CNN, adding that the deportation efforts feel to him reminiscent of what? Reminiscent of Nazi Germany. Yeah, there weren't a lot of illegal aliens sneaking into Germany during the days of the Socialist Workers' Party there. We're literally watching history repeat itself. You're a very stupid man, Aaron. You're an ignorant person. I don't care about your first app when you were 13. You've apparently gotten dumber since then. Isn't that amazing? All right, so let's go to, because soundbite number 17. Now, John Berman is a Democrat. He pretends to be a journalist on a cable channel called CNN.
The Trump administration steps up ICE raids and mass deportations. One tech developer is pushing back with an app designed to track ICE activity in real time. It's called IceBlock, and it's controversial to say the least. Senator Claire Duffy is with us now. How does this work, Claire, and what are the legal implications?
How does this work, Claire, and what are the legal implications? I'm John Berman. I went to the Columbia School of Broadcasting. And then they go to this young woman who's a Democrat pretending to be a news reporter. Her name is allegedly Claire Duffy.
I talked with Joshua Aaron, who is the longtime tech worker who developed this platform, and he said he really wants it to be an early warning system for people about the location of immigrations and customs enforcement officers. So he says he does not want people interfering with those officers' activity, but he does want people to be able to avoid them altogether if they want.
Yeah, don't interfere, but just avoid responsibility, culpability for your breaking the law. So CNN is actively involved along with this Democrat individual who thinks everything is Nazi Germany. In reality, he's Nazi Germany, but that's not important now. It's an early warning system. That's what they're calling it, for illegality, for lawbreakers. And CNN has jumped on the bandwagon. A woman allegedly named Claire Duffy.
You open the app, it looks like a map, and users can tap the map to report an ICE sighting in that area.
It looks like
and
a map.
Everybody
Tap the
who
app.
uses the platform within 5 miles of that sighting will get a push alert. This is a free iPhone app.
Alert.
It is anonymous. Aaron says he doesn't collect any user data.
He says he doesn't. You can believe him. You open the app, it looks like a map, and you tap the app, and then the slap on the back and the Claire Duffy. Isn't that amazing?
You open the app, it looks like a map, and users can tap the map.
Yeah, and till on your butt they will slap. The pretty amazing Claire Duffy reporting there. CNN reporting this on their television channel yesterday. Really, the only people watching are also in the newsroom.
And what I think is really interesting about this in this moment is we've seen so many of the biggest leaders in tech supporting President Trump. But Aaron is sort of an example of the fact that there are people within the tech industry who are really resistant to Trump's policies. I asked him what he would say to those tech leaders who, for example, were at the inauguration. Here's what he told me. Take a listen.
I understand that you have shareholders to report to. I understand that you have employees that need their paychecks. But at what point do you say enough is enough?
I should say that ICE did not respond when I asked them about this platform and about Aaron's opposition to their activity.
I think they're involved in violating the RICO statutes here. They're involved in a conspiracy. CNN and Aaron here, they're involved in an ongoing criminal conspiracy involving foreign drug trafficking cartels. And slavers and child sex traffickers and drug traffickers. And they are here to assist organized criminals, organized crime in perpetrating their crimes inside the United States of America. CNN called ICE, and ICE said, not even calling him back. It's CNN. What, are you kidding me? Tom Homan is our border czar and spent his lifetime securing our border. Federal law enforcement, Tom Homan, talking about the CNN story. Hey, CNN is reporting this they're spreading the word that people can avoid culpability for their crimes by downloading an app that CNN is promoting because they're involved in an ongoing criminal conspiracy.
Just disgusting. I mean, I cannot believe we're in a world where the men and women who enforce the law are the bad guys, and one who broke the law are the victims. And look, it's already a dangerous job. You know, ICE agents are arresting the worst of the worst. President Trump committed from day one. We're going to concentrate our effort on public safety threats and national security threats. So right there, the job's already dangerous. But when you're out there tracking ICE movements and giving people a heads up they're coming, that just puts the danger at a whole new level.
That is Tom Homan talking to Benny Johnson on his podcast. You may know Benny Johnson from Twitter, very busy on there. And Tom Homan is, hey, I can't believe they're putting on there. They're trying to dox ICE agents. They're getting threats. They're threatening to kill their children. The left are. They're threatening to kill their dogs and cats. That's actually true. Tom Homan.
You know, it's only a matter of time for someone sits in hiding and waits for an ICE agent and tries to take them out. I mean, this is horrendous that a national media outlet will be out there trying to forecast law enforcement operations throughout the country. I mean, it's incredible where we're at as a nation, and I think DOJ needs to look at this and see if they're crossing that line. I think we need to send a strong message that we need to protect the law enforcement personnel.
I think registered Democrats should be prohibited from flying on, they shouldn't be allowed through TSA. They certainly shouldn't be allowed to own firearms. If you're a registered Democrat, you got your Democrat voter card, you should be denied your Second Amendment rights. You're a danger to civilization. You're violent. You're probably a terrorist. And maybe you should be expelled from the country. What country would you like to be expelled to? Maybe South Sudan would be good for you. I've got more because this came up at the White House. CNN came up at the White House yesterday, too, spreading this criminal enterprise that the Democrat Party is very much involved with, and CNN, too. Anything happens to any ICE agent, that ICE agent should sue CNN for $1 billion. Nothing short of $1 billion. You know, the big wireless companies, they're pulling one over on all of us at this point. It's time to switch to consumer cellular. I've got my consumer cellular phone in my plan, and listen, it's the same fast, reliable, nationwide big wireless coverage, but without the big wireless bill at the end of the month. It's not just about saving money on your bill, though. It's about not being used and abused by these big cellular phone companies that think they own the world. You don't even know how much data you use every month, because most people, if you're over 50, use fewer than 8 gigs of data a month. And big wireless, they shove you into an unlimited plan as if you're using your phone 24 hours a day to text all day and all night like you're 20 years old, because they've got to pay for the 20-year-old, and they're going to use you to pay for it. You know, if you're not using all that data, then you're the one being used. I had enough of that stuff, went to Consumer Cellular. Consumer Cellular set me up with a service and the most amazing phone I've ever had, and it's incredibly easy to switch. When you call, you speak to an actual human being based right here in the United States, not a bot from another continent, real human beings who are incredibly helpful. It only takes about 20 minutes to change carriers and save a lot of money and get to all kinds of great stuff. So give them a call today and make the switch. Call 1-800-760-0702. That's 1-800-760-0702. Yeah. This came up at the White House briefing yesterday. Hey, what's CNN doing here? Maybe an FBI raid of CNN coming up. I have that next.
We have a pond in the back. We have a pool and a pond. A pond would be good for you.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
They used to say, go west. What they meant was go forward. Find your own way. Make something out of nothing. It can be tempting to take it easy, but discovery doesn't wait. So this summer, see what it means to make the most of dawn, dusk, and every minute in between. The truth lies west. Discover yours at travelwyoming.com.
You want to grow your business. I mean, who doesn't? Constant Contact's marketing platform makes marketing way easier and way more effective. Even if you know nothing about marketing, you can easily create email, text, social, events, and digital campaigns in just a few clicks. It's why over 500,000 business owners trust Constant Contact for their digital marketing needs. Constant Contact, helping the small stand tall. Get a free 30-day trial when you go to ConstantContact.com. ConstantContact.com.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm bringing out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans and vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie.
Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race car for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
This is for you.
Get the WMAL app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
We humans are social creatures, and that's why, love it or hate it, small talk is good for us. It's communication that we use to orient and acquaint ourselves with other people. And importantly, it can be a gateway to deeper and richer conversations. Now, chances are somebody in your friendship group is somebody that you met through a small talk situation. Now, if you dread small talk, here are a couple bits of advice. Trick is to just make an observation about your surroundings. It's why people often talk about the weather. Number 2, don't think about the conversation like a tennis match where you need to get the ball back to the other side of the court as fast as possible. Think of it more like a game of hacky sack where the goal is to be collaborative and to keep the hacky sack up in the air. Number 3, if you need a second to think, ask a question to buy yourself some time. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Come one, come all. Step into a world of wonder full of laughs and sweetness. Head to 7-Eleven and Speedway stores to enjoy summer's brightest moments and experience a circus of flavor with the new cotton candy flavor of 5-Hour Energy Shot. Astound and amaze your taste buds with sweet, fruity clouds and a hint of vanilla, plus B vitamins, nutrients, and caffeine. You'll be ready to see the sights and ride the rides. Try Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy today, exclusively at 7-Eleven and Speedway stores. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
John Deere's 2775 electric triplex mower can mow more than 22 greens on a single charge, all without any hydraulic fluid or operating emissions, and virtually zero sound. Learn more at an authorized John Deere dealer.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
WMAL, making sense of party politics, because somebody's got to hold their feet to the fire. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
I'm telling you. Well, let's go to one soundbite. I'll get back to a call after the break. But at the White House yesterday, the wonderful reporter Mary Margaret Olahan of the Daily Wire talked to Caroline Levitt about this app and CNN promoting it.
I just watched a CNN segment on a new app called Ice Block, and it kind of appeared to be promoting this app where you can tell people where ICE agents are. Given the recent rise...
An app that tells people where ICE agents are?
Yes. And given the rise, I believe, 500% increase in assaults on ICE agents, I want to see if you could comment on that and why CNN would be promoting such an app.
Yeah, why would CNN be promoting such an app? CNN, they're involved in a literal criminal conspiracy, and they're smirking their way through it. I think John Berman,
fucking son of a
handcuffs
bitch,
face down in the back of a van.
This is the Chris Plant Show. WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10:30. I'm John Matthews. The vote-a-rama over President Trump's big bill of tax breaks and spending cuts is moving towards hour number 26 with no visible sign of a breakthrough. Vice President Vance is on hand in case any tie-breaking is needed. GOP leader John Thune looking to thread the needle among those looking to limit reductions to Medicaid, with conservatives looking for more spending cuts. Fed Chair Jerome Powell is sticking to his position. The central bank will keep its key rate on hold while it waits to see how President Trump's tariffs affect the economy. That defies the steady stream of criticism from the White House, which wants those cuts. Powell says inflation's likely to pick up later this summer. The Fed will hold the line for now. Happening now, Montgomery County firefighters responding to a 2-alarm fire in an apartment building on Quince Orchard Boulevard in Gaithersburg. Fire started in a third-floor unit. It's now being evacuated.
This report is sponsored by MedStar Health. MedStar Health knows sometimes a video visit is virtually all you need. Get same-day care from MedStar Health providers. Download the MedStar eVisit telehealth app for on-demand urgent care wherever you are 24/7. Learn more at medstarhealth.org/evisit.
Steve Hirschhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
On the inner loop at the Beltway, Virginia, northbound 495, the road is partially reopened now between Route 7 and 123. The accident that blocked the inner loop after Route 7 in the Tysons area is now only blocking 2 right lanes. So 2 left lanes are available, but it's going to be very heavy and slow up from 236 Little River Turnpike. And the delays on the inner loop are causing backup on 66 now eastbound. You'll find that slow from 123 to exit onto northbound 495. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Sunny now, but scattered strong to severe storms this afternoon with the high of 90. It is 86 at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
My baby brother, a father.
Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach.
Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
U.S. soccer fans, get closer to the players, voices, and stories of the beautiful game with the U.S. Soccer Podcast. Megan Klingenberg, Alejandro Bedoya, and host David Gass bring you behind-the-scenes access to U.S. Soccer's 27 national teams, including exclusive interviews, stories, and spotlights. The U.S. Soccer Podcast is out now. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts.
Nightly Scroll with Haley Caronia.
Hello to all my homies in the chat. I'm Haley Caronia with some very inconvenient truths.
Your go-to place for the hottest button issues.
So you hate when facts get in the way of a good news story?
Cut through the noise and get ready to scroll through the chaos of the modern world, one hot take at a time.
Hear me out. We might need to spread this information 24/7. Let's get into some scrolling time.
Nightly Scroll with Haley Caronia.
I love this place.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
WMAL, making sense of the economy because it's your money and your retirement. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
All right, we have returned, and so many big stories because the violent Democrat criminals and illegal aliens murdering and firebombing, and the Democrats applaud all this, and if you raise an eyebrow at Muslim Brotherhood-loving Islamist firebombing Jewish people in Colorado, then they attack you. The Democrats literally attack you because civilization is not their bag. They are the left. They're not liberals. Let's go back to the telephones. We're talking about CNN promoting an app created by a Democrat to help illegal alien criminals evade law enforcement, and CNN promoting it. They should be denied access to the White House as journalists, have all their press passes taken away from them. Their cameramen, the lighting techs, the sound men, the reporters, the producers, pull all of their press credentials from them for the White House and other executive branch buildings like the Pentagon and the State Department. Declare them to no longer be a news organization, but part of a criminal organization, and they no longer have access. No more live shots in front of the White House. Get a backdrop like we have in the radio studio here and stand in front of pictures of buildings. All right, let's go back to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Phil calling from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Phil, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Plant. I was laughing when I heard about this app because ICE is going to use this app to track and corral and manipulate the positions of illegals into places where they want to pick them up. It's beautiful. The beautiful justice in this. You know, I don't want to talk about it too much. Thank you, ICE, for what you do, all you Americans. God bless you, and God bless you, Mr. Plant, WMAL too.
Well, thank you, Phil. Thanks very much. You're right. The operations people at ICE should take advantage of the app. You can spread disinformation all over the app so that they're running in the wrong direction all day long, and you can feed the app information that would force them to play into the hands of ICE.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
And anyone who downloads that app can be tracked. So God bless you, sir.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Phil. That's a beautiful thing. I love it. I honestly do. That's great. And, you know, they love the illegal aliens. Illegal aliens are them. We were in the middle of, thank you, Phil. We were in the middle. Let's go to soundbite number 12, because yesterday at the White House, I had Mary Margaret Olahan, wonderful, of the Daily Wire, who I have met certainly several times. And Mary Margaret Olahan, Daily Wire, wonderful, talking to Caroline Levitt at the White House briefing yesterday. Said, hey, CNN had this segment promoting this app, and I just played it for you. But Caroline Levitt, she's busy. She's got a full-time job. And she's like, really? Well, I wasn't watching CNN, but Caroline Levitt responding to Mary Margaret Olahan.
Well, it's a very good question. I'll have to go back and watch the clip myself, but surely it sounds like this would be an incitement of further violence against our ICE officers. As you know, as you've stated, there's been a 500% increase in violence against ICE agents, law enforcement officers across the country who are just simply trying to do their jobs and remove public safety threats from our communities. And that's something we as Americans, including journalists at CNN who live in many of these cities where illegal aliens are hiding and were let in from the previous administration, should be very grateful for.
The biggest threat, of course, is the Democrat Party, because they are the left. They are the international left, the foreign left. They're not on our side at all. Caroline Leavitt at the White House yesterday.
Certainly, it's unacceptable that a major network would promote such an app that is encouraging violence against law enforcement officers who are trying to keep our country safe.
She was very polite. She referred to CNN as a major network. See, that was very old school, very old fashioned. Isn't that great? The Senate has not yet confirmed Todd Lyons as the director of ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement. But Todd Lyons is the acting director of ICE and will soon, hopefully, be confirmed by the Senate and be the official director of ICE, Todd Lyons, on CNN and the app.
My officers and agents are enforcing immigration law. They are not secret police. They are not Nazis. But people hiding behind keyboards are demonizing them. They're doxing them, stirring up anti-ICE settlement, and putting their lives and their family lives at risk.
And their pets. These Democrats are threatening ICE agents, and they're saying they're going to come to their homes. They're going to kill their cats and dogs and parrots. They're going to kill their pets. This is the Democrat Party should probably be declared a terrorist organization pretty soon. Todd Lyons.
Wouldn't you wear a mask if you kept your family safe? If you kept your kids safe? We ran an operation with the Secret Service. We arrested someone that was going online, taking their photos, posting their families, their kids' Instagram, their kids' Facebooks, and targeting them. So let me ask, is that the issue here, that we're just upset about the masks? Or is anyone upset with the fact that ICE officers' families were labeled terrorists?
Yeah, right. And everybody with this guy who put the app together is calling everybody Nazis. He made torture squirrels. We're still looking into them. In California, I played this idiot Democrat mayor. She's the vice mayor of a city in the greater metropolitan metroplex in Southern California. Her Democrat name is Cynthia Gonzalez, and she has been trying to organize the considerably man-powered street gangs in Southern California to arm up and wage war against federal law enforcement. This is civil war that she's calling for.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles.
The cholos.
18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, they're going to peep out of you.
That's the federal government is the biggest gang there is, and she was calling them to get your guns, get your arms, the cholos, the street Latinx. They got the Latinx out there, and she wants them to come out and arm up. Now, illegal aliens, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, was minding his own business in his multi-million-dollar mansion overlooking the city of San Francisco a while back, when an illegal alien came to his front door and bashed him over the head with a hammer. And he was in the country illegally. And he was a Canadian from America's hat, from our largest national park. But that's not all, because in Boulder, Colorado, it was an Egyptian supporter of the Muslim Brotherhood banned in Egypt. But this Egyptian who came into his wife and 5 children to the United States, and then his visa expired, so he's in the country illegally and he's not following our laws. And he went to a pro-Israel march in Boulder, Colorado, where he used Molotov cocktails to set people on fire. Molotov cocktails, and he created a kind of a jury-rigged flamethrower to set fire to people, including an 88-year-old Holocaust survivor that survived. And then yesterday, we learned just late in the day, an 82-year-old woman who was set on fire by this Egyptian barbarian, savage Islamist who has the full support of the Democratic Party. 82-year-old Colorado woman that was injured in a Molotov cocktail attack died yesterday in the hospital where she had been since she was set on fire by an Egyptian let into the country by the Democrats, and then he stays until his visa is expired. And now they're yelling at us about their children and the wife and how wonderful they are. His name, unsurprisingly, is Mohammed Sabri Soliman. Mohammed Sabri Soliman already faced dozens of charges in the state court, including attempted first-degree murder using an incendiary device and animal cruelty because a dog was hurt in the attack that he firebombed. And he was arraigned on charges, and his charges now include first-degree murder. First-degree murder because this woman that he set on fire, 82 years old, died yesterday. Now, pretty amazing stuff, I've got to say. The Associated Press left a voicemail yesterday for Soliman's public defender. Now we get to pay for his defense and his incarceration forever in the case, but they haven't returned any calls. Now, with that said, I want to go back to the telephones because we have someone with a personal connection to this. And let's go to Brian calling from the once great state of Maryland. Brian, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, how are you today? Just want to thank you for taking my call, but more importantly, for being a stalwart supporter of Israel, the Jewish people, and in our fight against this anti-Semitism, which is just rife throughout this country. My connection, as you mentioned, is an distant aunt. My mom's best friend's was cousins to the woman who passed away, and out of respect for the family, I'm going to not mention her name, but I want to tell you a little bit about her because she was an incredible person. She was incredibly warm, just a delightful personality, very kind. She spent her last couple of years taking care of my mom's cousin, her best friend, as she passed from cancer. She was active in her community. She was an avid hiker and finished third just a week before this horrific attack in her age group for a run that she was involved in the Boulder area. And to have this be her final days, and her husband, who is still in the hospital and is expecting, more surgeries to recover from his own burn, is just, to me, the most horrific thing. But what's even more horrific is how quickly people just want to move on and how fast the news wants to forget about her.
Yeah.
And I just refuse to allow that. And so I'm very, I'm very thankful that you are bringing her up and bringing her, her into the forefront of people's consciousness, because to not do so only helps fuel anti-Semitism.
That is a fact, and it is the left and the Democrat Party in the name of all of their left-wing radicalism that the poor Palestinians.
It'd be nice for you to get out of the house as well and come out as well. So, I've got maybe $150, $200. You can go and get a taxi out when Angela comes around. She's been spending a few days there anyway, because it's quite far for her to come. You can go and get a taxi out, go to a restaurant and have a fucking night out. It's not going to cost you anything. I'll sort out that. I'll pay for that. I ain't got that much money left to eat. I can only give you $200 for a night out. It's going to be at least $50 for the taxi to wherever you got to go in it. Get out of your town and fucking whatever. Plus, I've got to pay for our stuff. It's $200. Around $500. It's about us, me. I know it's not that much money. Fucking rich as cunt, but that doesn't matter. So, fucking, I need to speak to her. I'll sort that out. I think she's got bitcoins and that. I'll send her the money and she'll sort it out. She's not a thief. So, she'll sort it out. the speeds are getting sorted, please. Just forgetting Chalmers here. It's ready. It's time.
She wasn't even so much as involving herself at that rally for any other cause than to just try and bring back the hostages that are still being held and tortured in Gaza. And it was a completely peaceful, it was not a political, it was simply for the hope of trying to, and you know, I know her twin sister, my mom's best friend, who passed away a couple of years ago, and much better, but they were not even as what you would say devout. In my conversations with my cousin, it is evident that they never would have thought this because they didn't really view themselves as being overly devout. But yet that's where we are today, isn't it? You know, you go to an event, this is what can happen to you just because you might have a connection to Judaism.
In America, in Colorado, in Boulder, Colorado, it's not New York City, it's not Los Angeles, it's Boulder, Colorado. And this Egyptian man who, in the end, was in the country illegally, and everybody that's in the country illegally, it has to be tied around the necks of the Democrat Party, because they are guilty as hell for every one of these crimes. Mohammed Sabri Solomon, 45 years old, an Egyptian, moved 3 years ago to Colorado Springs, his wife and 5 children. And honestly, when did he move? 3 years ago. In the middle of what? In the middle of the Biden administration. And he had lived in Kuwait for 17 years, and a fan of the Muslim Brotherhood. And you're asked about that when you apply for a visa to the United States. And of course, he lied on his visa about his affiliation with and affinity for the Muslim Brotherhood band in Egypt, as I said. And now an 82-year-old woman named Karen, who was set on fire on June 1st, and then died on June 30th of burns that were inflicted upon her a month ago. 82 years old, suffering for a month in a hospital room before she died because this savage, who should be executed by firing squad, but they have no death penalty in Colorado, I believe. But this is a guy that deserves death penalty more than even more than that student killer in Idaho. I got to tell you, honestly, Brian, that the ridiculousness of the Democrat Party at this point, they are behind their back. The CEO killer on the sidewalk of New York is a hero of the Democrat Party. The news media doesn't. You say you made a point correctly, Brian, that the news media stopped covering this story, and they stopped covering it because it doesn't serve the interests of the Democrat Party. That's it, Brian. That's why.
Yeah. And I would just ask your amazing listeners and your amazing audience, and I know that you have a lot of influence with people in positions of power, to please just keep this family in mind. Please keep these individuals in mind that this isn't over. This doesn't end for them. They've had our family member has been taken from us. But it doesn't end there, because this hate continues, and we've got to just stop it. And she was too beautiful of a person to have this happen at this stage of any stage of life, but especially in the final stages where she could have easily lived another 20 years and as healthy as she was. And it's just, it's not acceptable.
And let me say this, Brian, as well. And thank you very much for the call. I appreciate the call. Let me say this. The reason you don't want to use her last name, which I have right in front of me, and I'm not using it because you prefer to not use it, and that's fine with me. But Karen, her last name, the reason you don't want to use her last name is because of the terrorism that the left has unleashed in this country, that her family might be targeted by the Democrat Party. Let's call it like it is, by the Democrat Party. Just like the ICE agents fear for their families and their children going to school and their dogs and their cats, because the left is threatening to kill everything. And the left is here. These are not liberals. This is the left, and they are dangerous. They're dangerous to our culture and to our civilization. And the reason Brian doesn't want to use the last name is because he's protecting family.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
John Deere's 2775 electric triplex mower can mow more than 22 greens on a single charge, all without any hydraulic fluid or operating emissions, and virtually zero sound. Learn more at an authorized John Deere dealer.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
Looking for a sign to start that summer home refresh finally? Look no further than Blinds.com. Early access to Blinds.com's 4th of July mega sale is happening now. Blinds.com invented a better way to shop for custom window treatments with upfront pricing, no showroom markups, and no pushy salespeople in your home. Whether you're a DIY warrior, prefer the white glove treatment, or somewhere in between, Blinds.com makes it easy. Our virtual design experts can help you make the perfect selection on your schedule. Plus, we can even handle everything from measure to install. Style every room effortlessly with classic shutters for living spaces, blackout for bedrooms, motorized options for total convenience, shades for your patio too. With over 25 million windows covered and 40,000 five-star reviews, Blinds.com is the trusted name in custom window treatments, all backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. Shop early access to Blinds.com's 4th of July mega sale now. Save up to 40% site-wide, plus a free professional measure. Up to 40% off at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
At Average Al's Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company, weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
Then here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Pretty bird. Hello. Pretty birds. Go very far.
WMAL, making sense of the markets because generational wealth doesn't build itself. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Frank in Manassas, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
There
Thank you
you
so
are.
much for taking my call.
You bet.
Great show, Chris.
Thanks,
Great
buddy.
show.
Thank you.
And I just want you to know that the federal government has the death penalty. And this guy in Colorado who murdered that poor woman should get the death penalty in addition to hate crime and illegal immigration.
I'm with you, and you're right. You got to bring him up on federal charges. You're correct about that, even if Colorado doesn't have the death penalty. Got an update on Idaho coming up, too.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 11. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. After 26 hours, it appears a deal may be at hand to pass President Trump's big spending and cutting bill in the Senate.
Senator Mark Wayne Mullen just told us that the GOP has the votes now to pass the big, beautiful bill, and that is with Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski. Mullen tells us that the GOP actually already has the bill text ready to go. They're just waiting on the Democrats to finish huddling. Murkowski has been the key vote that they've all been focused on. She'd been on the fence overnight after the parliamentarian threw out language in this bill that was going to give Alaska a break when it came to Medicaid cuts.
Fox News' Asha Hasmi. Florida's Conch Republic fighting back against federal ICE efforts there.
Florida Attorney General James Huffmeyer says he will be in contact with officials in Key West now that the city votes to end its police coordination agreement with U.S. immigration. Key West residents voiced opposition to working with ICE agents.
Some employees are scared to come to work with ICE operating on the island.
Emma Falig works at a restaurant. City Commissioner Samuel Kaufman argues the original agreement shouldn't have been forced upon them.
We should not have fear or political retribution as the big.
Just owning a bike doesn't make you a biker. You silly fuck.
100 security cameras and 1,000 staff members. The site will house, process legal cases, and use the full-size runway to fly people directly out from here. Florida will be fully federally reimbursed through FEMA with the expected cost of $450 million per year. But it has also sparked protests and even a lawsuit that claims Florida unlawfully bypassed environmental reviews.
Fox News' Dana Marie McNichol. President Trump is visiting the prison right now. The D.C. Council votes today on whether to extend an emergency youth curfew.
Bowser's bill allows the police chief to set up extended curfew zones that begin at 7 p.m. instead of 11 p.m. and last up to 30 days. ANC commissioners could also ask the chief for the extended curfew. Commissioner Edward Daniels telling 7 News.
Just really put a horrible stain on the neighborhood. And I'm just grateful for a timely response to the issue.
Daniels calling the curfew extension a first step. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Maryland is dealing with a slew of new taxes, some not exactly celebrating.
Fees on everything and every month. It's just out of control.
No 20 residents starting today, there are increased taxes on sports betting, cannabis, data and IT, vehicle excise, and more. While Governor Wes Moore says it's pro-growth and pro-business for the state, the $1.6 billion in expected revenue is also to help Maryland close a $3 billion gap. But notes taxpayer advocate David Williams, who tells Fox 45.
The potential problem is that people are going to change their behaviors. So the amount of money that the state thinks they're going to bring in isn't what they're actually going to bring in.
And that could lead to more taxes next year. Scott Lynn on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Dow's up 293 points. NASDAQ down 174. Traffic and weather next.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
At Average House Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs. legs. Our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
We have a stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type. I have to take insulin shots every single day. The type that will stop at nothing. No more blood sugar tests. Absolutely nothing. No more complications. Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
Really? But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
On the inner loop of the Beltway, pretty slowing up from Route 50, Arlington Boulevard, to a new accident now that was just north of 66 along the right-hand side of the roadway. North of that, the earlier incident on the inner loop after Route 7 was cleared. Everything there is open. Maryland inner loop is pretty slow right now from Copelsville Road to Work Zone. Before New Hampshire Avenue, the right lane is closed. On New Hampshire Avenue southbound, heading down to the Beltway after Powder Mill Road before the interchange of 495, all lanes are closed because of an accident northbound at the scene. 2 left lanes are blocked. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com to WMAL. So March 7 forecast.
Sunshine now, but scattered strong and severe storms this afternoon with a high of 90. More storms overnight with a low of 71. 89 now at Reagan National. John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Platt.
I think he's terrible. He's a communist. The last thing we need is a communist. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with him, watching him, because he has to come right to his building to get his money. I think the people in New York are crazy. If they go this route, I think they're crazy. We will have a communist for the first time, really, a pure, true communist.
President Trump on the south lawn of the White House earlier today, preparing to board Marine One, the helicopter that would take him to Air Force One at Joint Base Andrews for his flight down to Okeechobee, Florida, where they've got the alligator Alcatraz that was set up faster than the government set up anything.
I'll be back later. I have to go.
Quite remarkable. Now it's about 5,000 illegal aliens.